I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been something I said. I tried to mug you for a loaf of bread. You clocked with a shovel straight to the head.
Illuminati is a thing you need to watch out for. They want to depopulate and slave us so much more. World domination, I'll get into that later. I'm hardcore, fierce and sexy. You're just a hater. You deserve the ridicule cause you're an absolute zero. I'm the keeper of the chalice, a rock and roll hero. I'm not an idiot nobody listens to, cause I'm not a failure in life like you. Let's talk about the Gates and the mark of the beast, and the orgies in the streets at the Catholic feasts, and Bill and Hillary's human trafficking ring. And George Soros got the money to pay for everything. Socialism is for losers, working for the devil. Chumps that can't fight, they ain't on my level. It takes an evil one to try to debunk and doubt it, so I'd rather die than stop talking about it. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out for the Illuminati.
What's good, my people?
Right.
It's your boy in the building, your hardcore, fierce, and sexy host, MC Too Tall, and you're watching the MC Too Tall Show as I drink my coffee from Wild Bagels. There. Now you could pick yourself up a cup of coffee like this. Great tasting coffee, by the way. At Wild Bagels, 1901 Stillwell Avenue in beautiful Brooklyn, New York. Or you could have your order delivered to you by calling 718-333-WILD. That's 718-333-WILD. And remember, Wild Bagels, those bagels are wild. Now let's get into this, shall we? Ghislaine Maxwell, the Assistant Attorney General, is interviewing Ghislaine Maxwell. He already did one interview with her. According to Donald Trump himself, the interview went well. I wouldn't rush to deflect so much. I know for a fact that Donald Trump has nothing to hide regarding Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And you don't have to live in Donald Trump's head to know this. You don't have to be a fly on the wall everywhere Donald Trump went to know this. All you have to know is that with all the enemies Donald Trump has, they would have obtained evidence that Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were somehow close associates, if it were so. And they would have put it out there, and Donald Trump would have never been president at all if this was the case. With all of Donald Trump's enemies, one of them, at least one of them, would have exposed him if he was guilty of anything having to do with Jeffrey Epstein. People see photos of Trump and Epstein. Yeah, he was some guy that snuck into Mar-a-Lago and started mingling with guests. And to Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein was just another face in the crowd. And he's joking with him and stuff like that. And when you're a sociopath like Jeffrey Epstein was, you could mingle with just about anybody. There are so many people I know that take photos with famous people and claim they're such great friends with them, and it turns out to not be the case. Jeffrey Epstein, and I will say this until I'm put in my grave by some angry mob, was more of a Clinton guy than a Trump guy. Jeffrey Epstein was not a Trump guy at all. He was always a Clinton guy. He was with Clinton not Trump. And there are photos of Jeffrey Epstein with Bill Clinton. And you could see that. They're plastered all over the internet as well. But people want to focus on Trump because, of course, Trump is the guy that's going to fix the problems created by the Democrats. Now, I don't believe anything big or major is going to come of this series of Ghislaine Maxwell interviews, but I am doing this video anyway, and shockingly, the length of the video outlasts the length of the theme song. That's how little I intended to speak on this. But if you look at the fake evidence that they tried piling against Donald Trump, the fake evidence, a blatant lie in the Steele dossier that they tried pushing through as some sort of fact-based investigative material. And they're doing this with a lie. If they're able to spin a blatant lie this far, if they had some damning truth about Donald Trump having some sort of connection with Jeffrey Epstein, you don't think they would have ran that by now? You don't think Adam Schiff would be leading the charge, or Nancy Pelosi, or all these other America-hating scumbags? You don't believe they would be leading the charge to get Donald Trump out of office and behind bars for the rest of his life? Turns out they're the ones who belong behind bars for the rest of their life. The way they push this blatant lie. Adam Schiff basically read a comic book plot called the Christopher Steele dossier and ran with it as if it were the truth. It's sort of like reading some comic book story about the Red Skull teaming up with evil German scientists to take over the world, and Captain America must swoop in and stop him. And that's how he read this off. Like Donald Trump was collaborating and colluding with a bunch of Russian spies to take over the United States. And it never happened. Oddly, the only two entities having absolutely nothing to do with the Russian collusion story were Donald Trump and the Russians. And it's all come out. Thank God for people like Tulsi Gabbard, who exposed these animals. And while I'm at it, let me say that Stephen Colbert is an etiquette deficient, uncouth, uncivilized, piggish slob. And thank God he's off the airwaves as well. And here's where we are at. Everybody's focused on the Epstein list and Ghislaine Maxwell. But the Obama administration spied on an incoming president. And these people need to stand trial. They need to be put forth at a congressional hearing. And they need to put somebody who is highly competent and moral. And the first name I think of is Jim Jordan. As much as I love Marjorie Taylor Greene, Jim Jordan is a little bit more composed than Marjorie. Sorry, Marjorie, I love you. I know you're watching this. But let Jim take this. Please. And anyway, somebody like Jim Jordan will slice and dice, proverbially, of course. Gotta be careful with these things now. Jim Jordan is not going to jump over the counter with a butcher knife and commit bodily harm on these people. As much as I might personally feel they deserve it, that's not the American way to do things like that. I mean, proverbially, of course, slice and dice these mofos. Adam Schiff, Jeff Clapper, Jim Comey, all these characters that were the real core of the Russian collusion hoax. Make them stand trial. Drag their asses into the congressional hearing and watch them backpedal on all the lies they've been telling for the past half a decade or more. Obama's men reviewed Christopher Steele's piece of fiction, brought it to Barack Obama's attention as a piece of fiction. And he turned around and said, okay, let's take that piece of fiction that I now know is a piece of fiction and push it as fact. Find a way to make the American public believe that this fiction is fact. He pretty much said that, and not those exact words, but he pretty much gave the order to do just that. And follow Barack's marching orders, they did. And the witch hunt began. And along come the protagonists like Adam Schiff, Jerry Nadler, who I almost ran against in Congress, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, all these crevicing creatures from hell. So many levels of hell where belong the left. I personally don't believe anything will come of these Ghislaine Maxwell interviews, but we should not just let it go and move on. Oh, you're still on that? Let's move on. Oh, you're still on that? Let's move on. That's how the bad guys win. When they're not held accountable for the wrong they've done. What if David Berkowitz, you know who David Berkowitz is, right? The son of Sam killer, killed several women in New York City in the 1970s, and he was caught, and he's serving the rest of his life in prison. What if he was only given 3 years jail time? Just 3 years. And released. And the families of those victims stepped up and complained about it. Should it be public opinion to tell those grieving families, oh, just let it go? So what? He did it. Just let it go. Crime runs rampant because of the Democrats. And I said in my last video, we know why. Because many of the Democrats holding public office are criminals. Many of the Democrats appointed by elected Democrats are criminals, many of them. And my guess would be that it's a majority, an overwhelming majority. I don't have statistical facts in front of me to say, here you go. It's just a hunch based on what I'm seeing with my own eyes and hearing with my own ears. But I believe it to be a valid and intelligent guess based on what is obvious. And so we can't just let it go, because then the criminals will continue with their criminality. This isn't about revenge. This isn't about, oh, let's fight lawfare with lawfare. This isn't about the Democrats trying to put away a criminal, and now the criminal is trying to get revenge and brand the Democrats as criminals. This is about the Democrats being the criminals that tried to criminalize a duly elected president. And this administration, or at least the need for this administration, to hold them accountable to it and make them pay their debt to society, so that it serves as a lesson to anybody who might be thinking of doing this again in the future, not to do this again in the future. And that's what this is all about. The bigger story than anything that could come out of Ghislaine Maxwell's mouth at this point is what Barack Obama is denying, is what members of Barack Obama's administration are now denying, or speaking only half-truths on, or flipping the narrative on completely. And when these people are put before a congressional hearing, you're going to see them eat each other up, throw each other under the bus, sell each other out, and try to survive like rats in a sinking ship. You're going to see these donkeys turn into rat bastards right before your very eyes, if there is a congressional hearing, which Tulsi Gabbard seems to be alluding to there being a need of. And I happen to agree with that analogy. I believe there should be a congressional hearing so that we could see this slithering jack serpent eat its own tail. To see these jackasses turn into donkeys and just devour each other, see them turning into rats and just devour each other and their own feces and throw each other under the bus. Those Democrats, man, those Democrats, so many levels of hell, man, so many levels of hell. Respect God. Watch out for the Illuminati. Follow and share this. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed by now. Stay strong and keep kicking that slang. It's your boy in the building, hip-hop legend, recording engineer, underground, rock and roll hero, MC Too Tall. You be good now.